My next guest takes on Mackenzie Dern at LFA 6 coming up here on March 10th. Katherine Roy joins me here on the program for the very first time. Katherine, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good today.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you joining me here. And one of the cool things I looked up when I was checking you out before this interview was that you were a U.S. Army vet. And one of the things I thought was really cool is that you were in a special unit where there typically weren't a lot of females. What was that experience like for you?
It was a really good experience because when you get deployed and you go out there, there is no, well, I'm tired, I'm going to take today off. Like, you get up, you go to work or do whatever kind of mission you have. So, when I'm doing a fight camp and I'm feeling weak or tired, whatever it is, I'm going to take today off. No, you got to get up and go and you train. So I kind of learned that real quick.
Yeah. And how long did you serve?
I did 5 years. So good 5 years, decided, maybe I'm not the lifer I thought I was. Got out, and then I was like, well, what do I do now? Well, I'll go to college because they're going to pay for it.
Oh, there you go. That's interesting. Where were you stationed at the time? Or, where did you move around?
So I was pretty young, so I was like, well, let me stay in Texas. So I requested Fort Hood. That was a mistake. I should have been like, oh, let's go to Germany or somewhere cool. But I was like, let me stay home. And then Fort Hood deploys the most out of any other base. So it was like Fort Hood, Iraq, Fort Hood, Iraq, Fort Hood, get out. That was it. So didn't really get to see too much.
And how do you feel that sort of benefited your fighting career? Because, MMA, there's a lot of discipline involved as far as, getting up, like you said, you don't have a choice. Do you feel like that, having gone through the Army has sort of helped your mixed martial arts career?
I think it definitely creates some type of toughness. And then it also really teaches you, like, look out for your buddy's back. So, sometimes when we're sparring, I'll think about, like, my buddy and what they need more when I'm sparring and not just me, and then vice versa. And like I said, it kind of creates a element of toughness because you can't quit. I remember one time I was in basic training. I'm still really young. I'm only like 19. And it was just a long day. We're frustrating. And we're doing it's these 5-yard rush things where one person runs forward and goes down, the other person goes. And I just start crying while I'm doing it. Like, I'm just crying. The drill sergeant's like, well, you can't stop. You're going to keep going. So I keep getting up, running with my rifle and getting down on the ground while I'm crying the whole time. And it just kind of taught you, don't quit. It might be a bad moment, but good moments are going to come after.
How'd you get involved in combat sports? I know you started first with boxing, if I'm not mistaken, and then transitioned to mixed martial arts.
So it's kind of really funny. I wrestled in high school, and then, I went to the Army because I hated school, didn't want to go to college right away. And then when I got out and I was just kind of going to college, I saw the Lingerie Football League was starting back up in Dallas. I don't know if you ever heard about that.
I have, yeah.
So I went and I made the team for Dallas. They just happened to be suspended and couldn't play that season, but I kept practicing and doing that, and my roommate was like, well, you're only going to Dallas once a week from New Braunfels. There's an MMA gym that opened up. Maybe you should try that. And I went and checked it out, and I was like, oh, my God, this is what I always wanted to do. And then from there, I kind of enjoyed the striking element a lot more than the grappling element. So I would do just boxing and see how far that would go, and then MMA fights. And I ended up liking that more than I did football, so I quit the football and stuck to the MMA.
And one of your big influences, I know, was Pete Spratt, the UFC vet. He sort of, was kind of one of your mentors. What type of impact has he had on your career?
A lot. He tells you like it is, and he doesn't sugarcoat anything, which I really like. He doesn't let you have any excuses. It's like you're going to get there and you're going to show up and you're going to train, or you're not going to fight. He's not going to let you fight under him unless you're consistent and been consistent for a while. It's not 2 weeks of consistency makes you a good student. It's day in and day out. So it's a lot of fun training under him because not only is he strict and pushes us really hard, he always has jokes with it too. So a lot of times I want to go train just because I want to see my friends there. So it's a good atmosphere.
Excellent. Now, you mentioned your striking credentials. You were a 2015 Golden Gloves boxing champion, so obviously very decorated in the boxing world. Is the focus now just MMA, or are you looking to also do boxing as well?
I'd want to do some more boxing. I kind of didn't really get to do as much boxing as I wanted because I'm not sure if it's the same in every state, but Texas is a little different. Because I had just one amateur mixed martial arts fight, I automatically got thrown into the open boxing division. So that means you had more than 10 boxing matches. So as an 0-0 boxer, I went into the Open Golden Gloves and I mean, I kind of felt like I lost a little bit of that coming up experience, you know, being sub-novice and novice. But I really love boxing because I feel out of all the striking, you see the most technique in boxing with the angles, the punches, and the movement. So I'd love to do some more boxing. Just right now, MMA, especially for women, is really accelerating. So I'm going to run with it as fights come. I'll take them. If they don't, we'll go to boxing and just flip-flop back and forth. I don't mind.
Yeah, and you've certainly come to the right place. LFA, you know, the number one developmental promotion out there in the world, basically. How did this all come together with you competing for them?
So Pete is also our manager.
Oh, cool.
And
okay.
he with them, and they said they were coming back to town. Who do you have that would want to fight? I'm coming off of my last fight, had enough time to train and work on the things we wanted to work on. So I was like, yeah, put my name in the mix. And then it just kind of came up. They're like, oh, well, what would you think about Mackenzie Dern? And I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, did you know about Mackenzie before you took the fight, or was this something you had to research after?
So I don't follow jiu-jitsu. So I heard about her after other people were really talking a whole lot about her making her MMA debut. So I was like, okay, who is this? And then I watched the fight and I was like, oh, I could totally fight that. And that's all it is for me. To me, I mean, I'm not starstruck because I'm not really a huge fan follower of jiu-jitsu. It's just, she's the same as May Oy, the last person I fought.
Right. And I should mention that fight you won by unanimous decision. You made your pro debut for World Series of Fighting Global in the Philippines. How cool was that, getting to travel to the Philippines and make your debut there?
It was a lot of fun, but I will say I'm never going to the Philippines again. 2 weeks because it's 24 hours on a plane making weight. That was the hardest weight to make ever because I'm real sensitive to retaining water from that pressure change.
Oh, God. So, interesting. Okay, yeah. That's a good point.
We got in there at like, I want to say 11 o'clock at night, and they're like, okay, your weigh-ins are tomorrow at 10 in the morning. And I'm like, oh, serious? So, you know, it was rough, but it was fun. It was a really cool experience.
Excellent. And back to your opponent here, Mackenzie Dern. Must give you a lot of confidence knowing, you know, Mackenzie's never fought a legit striker. You know, Montana Stewart, her last win, wrestler. Her opponent before that, sort of an all-around fighter. But you're the first legit striker with credentials that you're facing. That must give you some confidence going into this matchup.
Yeah, you know, I like throwing hands. And I think the biggest part of that is I don't like other people sweat on me. So I think that's why I never really took to the jiu-jitsu, because you get these big old guys that are all sweaty and they're touching you and laying on top of you. And I'm like, no, no, let's punch, let's throw hands and kicks. So I'm really excited for the fight. I got a lot of friends, a lot of family going. You know, it's going to be a good time. And then after that, we're going to IHOP. You know, I can't wait.
Yeah. So got the pancakes on deck as soon as you're done the fight, right?
Absolutely.
Nice. That's quite the post-fight meal. Let's talk about your training camp a little bit here. You talked about Pete Spratt. Who are some of your main training partners helping you get ready for this fight?
So Pete's a main, you know, he's the minds, the brains of everything. And then I train with CJ a lot because he's a 125er flyweight. He's also on the card. So we get a lot of work in together. And then we have a couple really good grapplers that I work with. Naji, Rivaldo, he's on the card too. Monica, and we get some rolls in, we get some punches with takedowns in, and it's day in and day out. I'm a full-time personal trainer and group fitness instructor, so it'll be easily 8-10 hour days of working. Then I drive an hour to San Antonio. We train for 2 hours and then an hour back home for the drive. So it's some long days, but it's definitely worth it because I love it. I look forward to it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, what pays the bills, but personal training. So I guess, I mean, an hour, I guess that's not too bad, but still could be better as far as, you know, having, you know, time to go between jobs.
Yeah, well, what helps with the drive is I get to like play my music and psych myself up. So sometimes I look forward to the drive because, you know, it's like, oh, I'm really tired. Let me play some Metallica and get going and get out there. Okay,
so let me ask you this then. You're done this interview. You go out for a drive. Let's say you're going to go out to clear your mind. What's on the playlist? If you know you're playing something right now, what's the last thing you remember playing in the car?
So the last song I think I listened to was "Fuel" by Metallica.
Nice. Okay.
And my brother Red, he has a CD which is really cool, and it's Sunday to Monday, and it's just a song about hustling, and that's more of a hip hop song. I listen to the song a lot too because it really motivates me.
Nice. I like that selection. How's the weight cut going? I know this fight's coming up here on Friday. I imagine things are on point.
Everything's on point, and for me, because I'm probably one of the bigger 125ers. Uh, weight cut for me, it's weeks. It's dropping the weight slowly in weeks. In all my years of competing in any weight-based sport, I've never missed weight. Knock on wood. So I take that with pride because that's something I control. I have full control of that. And trust me, I was pulling my hair out for that Philippines fight. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Every 20 minutes, I was on that big old plane walking around in circles. But it's pretty good. This is the hard part of every fight, is making sure we make weight. And then after that, the fight's fun. It's only 15 minutes at the most, and you're going to go out there. You're going to put on a show for your friends. You're going to get paid to do it. And then, like I said, we're going to go eat after.
Now, Mackenzie missed weight in her last fight. Are you worried about that at all for this matchup? If anything, I guess you'd get some more money if she does miss weight.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, miss weight. I'll just take the money. I'm not nice. I'll be like, no, you got to pay me.
Yeah, good stuff. Has it sort of hit you yet what a win here could do? Because all anyone's talking about is Mackenzie going to the UFC. She's got the jiu-jitsu background. She's got the impressive finishes. She's very marketable. You have the opportunity here to steal that spotlight and propel yourself up yourself. Have you kind of thought about that at all?
Not really. I'm just kind of, because I guess I'm kind of special. I do this because I really have a lot of passion for it, not because I necessarily need it. Now, I hope that doesn't sound like I train any less or anything, but, wherever the next fight goes, the next fight goes. I'm 31. If I wake up after this fight and I'm like, I just don't really feel like it anymore, then I'm done, and I'll focus on my career, helping others achieve their fitness and weight loss goals. So it's just, figuring out. All I know is that I'm eating after the fight. That's like all right now.
Yeah, that's the mirage, right? Right there, just a stack of pancakes with syrup on it.
Exactly that, and then a date with my boyfriend, and we're just going to have a great weekend. That's it.
Excellent. March 10th, what's your prediction? How do you see this fight ending?
I'm going to punch her in the face, and then she's going to be like, whoa, I've never been punched this hard before, and then she's going to second guess everything she wants to do. Because I don't think she's been hit hard. That's my personal opinion. So,
do you see yourself finishing her with strikes? Is that sort of how you visualize this fight going?
I always visualize every fight at this weight class going to the distance because let's be honest, we're small people, and most people's traps and neck strength is stronger than our punches. So I'm going to be conditioned to go a whole 15 3 rounds, and keep up the cardio and keep up the volume the whole time.
Excellent. Do you follow women's MMA at all, like outside of Legacy and everything? Do you follow the UFC at all?
Yeah, some of it, I try to keep up with it a lot, and at work we talk about it and have fun. But I couldn't, give you a breakdown of any particular person a whole lot.
Okay, fair enough. I like the honesty. What do you like doing in your downtime? Obviously you're very busy. You have the personal training. You're training yourself. When you get that little sliver of, downtime, what do you like doing?
I like walking my dogs, hanging out with my boyfriend, and then I love playing with my friends' kids because I don't really have any kids or plan on it, but my friends have some really great kids that are young, 3 and babies, and we go play with them and have fun, and that's kind of what I really like to do. I like to travel, been to Thailand to go train kickboxing. That was fun too. But I'm a pretty simple person, homebody, don't really, I'm not flashy or anything like that.
Yeah, you're not at a club like popping bottles, right?
I can't afford to pop bottles.
No. So, yeah, after party for you, like I said, IHOP, reservations, the whole thing. You go there and, you get an all-day breakfast or something.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're probably going to be mad because usually they have 1 or 2 waiters on staff, and probably 30, 40 of us are going to show up to IHOP at, I don't know, midnight, and they're going to be like, really, guys? Well.
Have you Googled that out yet? Do you know the closest IHOP to where the venue is?
We'll probably look it up then and be like, make a Facebook post. Yo, here's where we're going.
Yeah, after party. Meet me in the diner. Meet in the diner.
Exactly. It's going to be a great night. I'm excited.
Yeah, and I'm certainly excited too. LFA 6, this is a stack card. I am seriously stoked for this one. Katherine, can't thank you enough for joining me here, especially on a Saturday. Where can people find you on social media? And if you got any thank yous or shout outs, the floor is yours.
So I have a Facebook. You can find me, Katherine Roy. I have an Instagram and Twitter. I don't really know what their names are off the top of my head, so I'm pretty sure someone's tagged me in something.
I'll put it in the description. There you go. I'll talk to the PR guy.
Yeah. I really want to thank my coach, Pete, and my whole team over there at Pete Spratt Muay Thai, the Muscle Factory, because they handle my strength and conditioning and my weight cut. And then really my job at Guadalupe Regional Wellness Center, because it's my hobby and it's outside of work. They have no obligations to help me with any of it. And they do. They help me a whole lot. And it's been really